Happy Monday, ladies. I hope y'all are having a good Monday. I wanted to talk to y'all about government assistance and just what I've learned and what I feel like my experience with government assistance and things like that. So, let me first start out by saying that there is nothing wrong with government assistance in the sense that if you actually need it. I feel like it only becomes a problem when people get on it and it's like instead of it being a hand up, it's now a hand out. Like, I feel like it's only an issue when people get on it and they don't have a plan to get off of it, or they have no desire to get off of it. They have no desire to support themselves. That's when I feel like it's an issue. As long as you're working to improve your situation, do what you got to do for your family. Because a lot of people that like talk bad about people who are on assistance, if they were in the same situation, they would do the same. Or they have people who will help them. They have family. They have support systems in place where if they were to fall, they wouldn't, fall hard. Like, they wouldn't have to go do those things. And I think a lot of people don't really understand that. It's easy to judge another person's situation when you're not going through what they're going through. Just because you've been down on your luck before doesn't mean that your situation matches everyone's situation. We take for granted things like being able to get a job because we know someone, or having a family member who can babysit for us while we go to work, while others have to pay for daycare, or they don't know anyone who can help them get a job. So with that said, I'm not saying you got to be boastful about it, because definitely I sure am not. But at the same time, don't allow your pride to get in the way of things that can help you if you need help. When you first find yourself in a situation where you are a single parent, I feel like people who usually tell you to go get assistance. Even when I was working, and I'm working my behind off, I had people who are like, you could go get assistance, or you can go do this, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna try to do what I can, like right now. If I don't desperately need it, I don't get it. Because what people don't tell you about government assistance is that, like, you have to really knock yourself, like, you cannot really be doing well. You have to be working minimum wage, and you have to really be struggling to qualify for the stuff, for that stuff. You can't have a job making decent money and get government assistance. Even if you're struggling, say if you don't have enough money for food, if you're over that income limit, even by $1, they will not give you assistance. They just won't. That's just how it is. That's the downside of being on assistance. Before you get on government assistance, I would have a plan in place to get off. Here in Tennessee, we have this thing called TANF. You get a certain amount of money every month, and it's for your kids, and it's to help with things that child support would help with. So, like clothes, shoes, diapers, wipes. In the state of Tennessee, you can only use that for 5 years. Now, with that, you get daycare as well. I know many people who get the daycare and who are not working. I did it as well because they said it was included. If I could do it over, I would not have gotten it, because here's the thing. You lose those months for when you do actually find a job and you do need help with daycare. Okay? Before I moved into the project, I had a job working at a call center, and the job paid pretty decently. It's just daycare ate up all of my money. I started the call center job in April, and I was 2 months away from some type of renewal period or something like that with the employers, where you can sign up for benefits and things like that. So when it came around to June, I went on ahead and signed up for all that stuff. And they were saying that if you were going to be paying for daycare, I can't even remember what it's called, but it's like a thing where it's not taxed. Like, that portion of your paycheck is not taxed, and it goes into an account specifically for daycare. Like, you have to get it set up to where the daycare directly gets the money from the company that takes it out of your check. I had $192 coming out of each check. I can't remember exactly how it got to $192, but I do know that's how much it was every paycheck. So no matter how many hours I worked, $192 was coming out of my check for the rest of the year. That was beneficial because I knew I was going to get them in daycare eventually. At that time, I did have siblings watching my kids, like rotating watching my kids, and I love them. Don't think I'm bad mouthing them at all, but that taught me that people are not going to raise your kids the same way you raise your kids. Like, everybody doesn't view parenting the same, and so while I'm working 60 to 80 hours a week, my kids are learning things that I don't feel like they should be learning. They're watching things that they shouldn't be watching, that I wouldn't allow them to watch. And, sometimes people feel like because they're doing you a favor, like, you either take what they give you or, you leave it. And at that time, I couldn't afford daycare. I was homeless. I was living in a hotel. And I couldn't, the hotel was already eating through my check. I went to the cheapest hotel that I could find where I wouldn't be afraid to go outside, and I was paying like close to $400 a week. I was there for 4 months, and it was a real strain on my budget. Plus, I had $200 coming out of each check, and I was working 60 to 80 hours a week. And when I tell you that, I wasn't progressing as much as I felt I would. And they had the call center that I worked at was a really good place. For the summertime, they had so many incentives for you to do overtime. You already get overtime pay, but they would add an extra $15 to $20 on that per hour if you worked during those times where they really needed people. On top of that, if you worked 4 hours on a specific day that they needed people, that's nothing. They would give out $25 gift cards for everybody, who worked those extra hours. So, it really benefited me because I really needed those gift cards. I needed that overtime pay. But even with all of that money, I still couldn't get ahead. But luckily, my brother lost his job, and I ended up moving in with him and Uncle Marcus. And so me and all my kids and my 2 brothers were all living together. And even then, I still wasn't able to get my money up. Daycare is eating up my check. So I'm having to pay $75 a week for my oldest 3 who are in school. Mind you, they're only going to daycare for an hour in the morning. And maybe an hour and a half in the evening. And out of those 2.5 hours of daycare, and plus they were being transported to and from school, so I guess, but it was $75 a piece for the oldest 3. So that's $225 a week. Plus my baby boy, he was not in school at the time, so that's $125 a week. So $225 plus $125, that's $350 a week. And you do that 4 times for a month, that's $1,400 a month just on daycare. They were kind enough to give me a $50 discount, so I was appreciative of that. But, when you look at it, those incentives, overtime incentives, the more you work, the more you have to pay. But even then, because they started actually going to daycare about September. About that time, there was no overtime incentives because call volume was low. I'm making $11 an hour at 40 hours a week. That's $440. And then, after taxes, I'd be bringing home maybe $1,600 a month for daycare to be $1,350. So $250, that's what I have to live off of. Now, I did have the child care account, but even with $200 every 2 weeks, by the time that they got in daycare, before the end of the year, everything was ate up. I could have really used that daycare assistance during a time where, I really needed it, instead of using it during a time where, I'm looking for a job. Despite what people will tell you, you don't need daycare to go find a job. Most jobs are online. Take your kids to the library with you, and do applications online. try that out first. I would definitely try out trying to get a job, like putting applications online before you actually go out and try to like put them in like applications in person. I hate that I need it, but I am so thankful that I have it. I have access to it, and I live in a country where I do have access to it, and it is an option if you need it. The sad thing is that many people do abuse it. They don't really see a reason to get off of it if it's available. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I don't like Section 8, because I feel like you have so many people who are on it. Like I had a girl that I used to hang with, and her mom was like in her 40s and had been on government assistance for over 15 years. And I was like, what? Like, how is that even legal? How do you get Section 8 for 15 years? I think that's like clearly you're not worried about the next generation. Okay, let's go there. I am appreciative of my project housing, but you best believe I want to get out of there as quick as I can, because I know what it's like to need somewhere to lay your head, and you don't have somewhere to lay your head. Like I said, I was homeless once. Don't look at assistance as the best thing ever, because it's not. If you only get what people give you, you will never have enough. You know, you have to want more out of life, because whatever your children see you put pride in and value, those are the same things that they're going to put pride in and value. Don't get comfortable, ladies. Do not get comfortable. That's the worst thing you can do, is get comfortable at the bottom. I just can't. Like, I know that there's so much more to life. And my thing is how are you going to fulfill your destiny? How are you going to accomplish your goals if you stuck in the projects? Huh? You're not going to be able to go far, baby. It's sad, you know. I wish that there was a way to motivate everybody, but you know, you can't dream for everybody. People gotta see it in themselves, and they gotta want it for themselves. And if they can't want it for themselves, they at least gotta want it for the next generation. Being a single mom is not easy. Constantly trying to pour from a cup that is sometimes empty is not easy. But at the same time, like, you know, we have a responsibility, and sometimes that's more than what we bargained for. A lot of us did not sign up to be single moms. I've completely stopped telling myself that things are going to get easier. I tell myself now that things are going to be worth it. Because, you know, I've been a single mom most of my time as being a mom. You know, I've been a mom since 17, and I've been a single mom for just about that long. And I can tell you that when one area gets easier, another one gets harder. You got to be in it for the long haul. And don't get comfortable on this government assistance, y'all, because it's not where it's at. We can achieve so much more if we use it to get to the next step versus just relying on it, y'all. But I'm about to pick up my babies, and you know, it was a good little chit chat with y'all. I hope you feel what I'm saying. And please don't think I am looking down on anyone or trying to judge anybody. I get food stamps. I live in the projects, and I have Medicaid, like insurance. So I get it. I get it. And that's why I say do what you have to do when you have to do it, but don't get comfortable. You know, I am in the projects right now, but I'm also going to school, because I do not plan on living my life and spending my life in the project.
Mama, am I able to walk outside? Mom, the teacher said we're supposed to plant our thing for an amount of water, but I don't know. She said we're supposed to.
Yeah, we can plant it. Alright, y'all, but I am on my way home, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.